I'm not satisfied with anything. I haven't been satisfied with any opportunity I had because I still want to go up. Now, for me, I look at promo works too, which we're going to work on in a second. You have to always have some kind of different emotion, you know, and that's why I want to work with you guys with more like anger promos as soon as we get this. So that's why I'm going to shut up just so I can hear everybody's character and we can go from there. What's going on, everybody? I am Blake T, also known as Bliz, and this is dedicated to Hard Work, the docuseries. Now, this is an idea that Brian Waters and I had a couple years back, and even through a pandemic, I'm glad through all the years, the time, and the hard work, we are finally being able to put this out. I hope you guys enjoy what you see, and it feels good to be able to tell this story. Peace.
Yeah. Come take a stroll with me. A walk on the wild side where they screw with my run to the sky. A mile high, hardly on top, well grounded as a troubled child, rushing through horrid times to grab a couple smiles. Adolescent years discouraged from the compelling truth that I'm different. Had hallways asking, who the hell are you? Content, copy the struggle to always share fate. Trapped behind my own bars, beyond scared straight struggles, relationships, pushing others away, testing sanity, seeing who leaves another day. Raise directories, search for different levels. Another diamond in the rough with the missing bezel.
I remember when I first got into the wrestling business, the first thing when I talked to my brother about it was he asked what was it for? And it was for photography. Well, first it was for music, which, you know, he appreciated and he saw me do. But it was in a photography aspect as well. And I give him a lot of credit for that because my brother, my cousins, my friends like Vance and Ronald, they always saw me basically editing pictures. I was always editing. I graduated from the University of YouTube. So I would just edit famous people's pictures and, you know, friends' pictures and all that. And my brother was the one that was like, hey, let's just get a camera, you know. And my nephew, he was a football player, and he's like, hey, you know, you can come shoot the games. And when I told him, hey, I just got a job for photography, he was ecstatic. You know, this was something that he knew I wanted to do. And, you know, I shared it with my cousins, and they were like, oh, this is your first step. This is your first step.
Blake would take these dope pictures or whatever and edit them and really learn in Photoshop. And then, you know, somewhere along of that road, Blake was like, let me get me a camera and really do this.
I had this idea that we would meet a couple indie wrestlers because I knew Larry Legend, who I went to high school with, funny enough, and I wanted him to come with me. I wanted Blake to come with me to this event. And I knew that if somebody met Blake, they would think he was amazing.
I can't remember the exact year it was, but I know it was, I had to be around 2006 maybe, at MCW. I think he talked to Robbie before me, and then Robbie came up to me, he said, this is Blake. He made a rap song about us. We need to go listen to it. So I went out to the car. We listened to the song that night. And then I came back in. I loved it.
I remember like my first big moment in wrestling was at Cage of Death. I think it was Cage of Death 9 in 2007.
Talked to Blake. You know, we got to talking on the phone from that point. He started coming to more shows. And, you know, we started hanging out. And then I decided, you know, I'm going to bring him and Larry in the CZW with me. And then we did a rap video. I talked to John Zandig. What was it, Cage of Death? Yeah, Cage of Death. I talked to Zandig about putting this video together and if it would be cool if we can debut it at Cage of Death. And that's what we did, and you know, the crowd loved it. And from that point, it's just been rolling from there.
As soon as the beat drops, you see the smoke cloud in the air, the lights go dim, you know it's Blackout in here, ready to hit the ring and put a clown in his place. We in it to win, we gon' do whatever it takes. Joker driver, razzle dazzle, it don't matter the move. Whatever you get hit with, you guaranteed to lose. We got something to prove and we bout this money. Living life like every day of the week is 420.
Ruckus had introduced me to him, and I used to do music way before I was doing wrestling. And he was like, yo, I got this guy, this rapper, he does this stuff, he does this music, and I want to do something with Blackout, and I think you'd be good to do a promo with him. So I think I met him at the ECW arena, like in the back room or something, and he was doing something with the music, and I came in, and my character then was kind of like the sore thumb of Blackout, because I was the uncool guy in Blackout. So I used to wear this bow tie. And before I became like a Muslim minister, which is the gimmick, I was just awkward and goofy with a bow tie on, before bow ties were fashionable again. So I remember I come up to him like, hey, you're that guy Bliz, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, man, I got this rap for you. Bow tie rap. Make your hands clap, fingers snap with the bow tie rap. And he made this facial expression that just was like, yo, where'd you find this dude, Claude? And they just walk away from me, and like the camera zooms in on me, and I'm like, but I'm hip though. And like, this is the laughter that's ruined the take. It was hilarious, but again, since I've known him, consummate professional, good at everything he does, and you know, good at making me look stupid, but in a good way.
Yo, Bliz, what's up, man? Name and Bentley. Yo, I heard you an up-and-coming star. You know, besides being an attorney, I'm a rapper, right? And I got some ideas. Cause I can ghostwrite for you. I'm coming with your image for you. All right? Bow tie rap. Bow tie rap. Make your fingers snap. Bow tie rap, make your fingers snap. Bow tie rap, make your stickers snap. And don't forget the glasses, bitch. Come on, man. It's hot. It's hot. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's hot. Look at the we got in here. It's hot.
Hey. I'm just gonna be me.
Get my tens.
Hey.
I'm going to these shows with Ruckus and, you know, becoming cool with so many different people. You know, I'm building friendships with Chrissy Rivera and Black G's, you know, Joker and Drake Younger and all these people. A couple years go by and I get a call to come to Ruckus's house. And when I get there, it is a good friend of mine named Brad Vance. And it's the Wrestling Nation of Frank and Lee. And they come up, you know, Claude's like, this is Brad. We're going to start a new federation in Maryland called RCW.
So when we started RCW and he started booking there, you know, he already knew pretty much what he needed to do. It was just a matter of giving him a chance and an environment to do it in. They didn't have a lot of snakes around at the time. You know what I mean?
From knowing him as a man and getting to know him that way, and then getting to see his professional side and what he had in store as a vision of professional wrestling, and his respect for the performers. Because a lot of times a guy who is on the creative end or promoter or whatnot tends to talk down to his talent, and he very much is right there with you. You feel like when talking to him creatively that if he wants you to do something, he's not asking you to do something that he wouldn't do if he was a performer. So you feel like you're in the foxhole with somebody in that aspect. That if it goes south, if something goes south, that he's going to stand right beside you and have your back in something.
So I'm really big on hard work. Whether I'm talking to students, whether I'm talking to friends, family, or, you know, a company, I always say I'm going to give you 100%. You know, no matter what, you're always going to get 100% of me.
His concepts, he'll say them, you'll be like, frick are you talking about? But then once again, explain them, you're like, okay, that would be really freaking awesome to see. In terms of booking wise, he likes to book, he likes people who earned it, and you can tell. He wanted people who paid their dues, who worked really hard, who, even if they're not the best, even if they're not where they should be, is to get you where you should be. And that shows a lot in terms of character too.
We go to RCW, the first doing that actual show. We're getting ready for it. And the thing I always appreciate about Blake was we talk a lot about passing the torch, teaching the young up-and-comers, teaching those who's next. He taught me the wrestling business in ways I hadn't seen it before. Now, I had been doing my wrestling talk show at this point 2.5 years, So I met people like Ruckus, like Robbie. I interviewed them. I interviewed a couple of wrestlers. But that's all it was just interviews, right? Blake, in that first show, first thing he did was he broke me in immediately. No, it's not going to be surprises. You're write the run sheet. Circle this name, circle that name. He made sure I knew going in that locker room, shake everybody's hands. And that was something I had already did before. Derek Frazier had taken me to the locker room before and he had introduced me to people. But Blake made sure as a worker, understanding locker room etiquette.
As I'm graduating to going up to booking, I got to learn like more of a TV style working with Adam Flash. More of like a lucha type of style working with Ruckus. More of a entertainment working with Robbie Marino and Frank Lawson. And then a more of icing on the cake working with Derek Frazier. So the good thing about that is you start to see every aspect that fans want to see. And me coming in, not just as a fan, but a student of the game, I always listen. So I'm listening and I'm reading what the fans like, what they didn't like. And I'm always reviewing a lot of different things. And what can we have made different? What if we do this month? And what if we do that month? So when it was time for me to step up and we make a booking team and everything comes together, I felt like I had what it takes to take this to the levels that we've all wanted. And as a team, we did that together. At the time that we had RCW, we got to do and accomplish a lot of things that you don't really see. And we did it in a good amount of time. I mean, it was such a great run and it helped me prepare for the next several years of my life backstage in wrestling. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. You don't normally get to call and work with the people that we got to work with. And, at some point they were even like family. And to this day, some of them still are. And you get to see a lot of success stories from people that really got a break at RCW. And to see where they're at now, to this day, I still may hear from some of these people like, yo, thanks for what you did at RCW. Thanks for giving me a chance. It really prepared me for X, Y, and Z. 2012, I started working with ROH. I had a really good friendship with Jeff Jones. And, he was like, man, I really, really like your photography. And, we're in Baltimore now. You're local. You want to come work for ROH. And at the time, I'm like, Ring of Honor? Like, wow, yeah, of course. So, I started working with Ring of Honor, and that was another really, really good years that I had working with them. It was always very open. The locker room was very open. I'm really big on trying to tell stories with my photography, and having so many people to work with, up and coming legends, current stars, current the best and all this. It was so cool. And the advantage that I had was I knew a lot of them already because they already worked for RCW. So, I come in and, you see Rhett Titus and Delirious and the Briscoes. And they're like, wow, Blake, you here now? Like, yeah. So, so many doors was opening from RCW, and ROH was one of them. One of the biggest blessings at ROH was Maria Kanellis. I'll never forget the email where it's like, hey, Maria Kanellis is going to be here, so we got to make sure to get these pictures with her. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, Maria Kanellis? Like, oh, I don't know what to do, but mentally that let me step my game up, and it let me change my whole view of photography, change my whole style, because I wanted these to look like nothing else. And I'll never forget the first time I worked with her. She was the first person where it wasn't like I had to go to them and be like, okay, we're going to do this amount of poses, and can you do this, and can you do that? She said there, hello, how are you? I'm Maria. Shakes my hand. You ready? I'm like, yeah. Pose, 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 done. And I never worked with something like that. And as intimidated as I was, as soon as those poses happened, I forgot everything. And every time I worked with Maria, I want to say this on camera, Maria's hands down probably one of the most important women to women's wrestling. The knowledge that she has behind the scenes is fantastic. And that was one person that I can actually sit down with and like talk to about how important women's wrestling was. I mean, she was so hungry to start Women of Honor back up and really, really like push it. And, you know, any view that I had on women's wrestling, she's like, yeah, I like that too. And the thing is, she is so intelligent and she understands branding. And that's something I'm so big on. I'm so big on storytelling, so big on wanting to know what your brand is. And people just don't give Maria the credit that she deserves. Such an intelligent person, smartened me up on so much. And I can hands down say she made me a better person.
When I would accompany him at Ring of Honor shows, he would allow me to help out with the photography. If I wanted a picture with some of the wrestlers, he was never like, no, you can't do that. He would let me do that. And one of the things I'm always grateful for is he introduced me to the backstage part of the business, but introducing me and helping me go through doors that I didn't think I would go through before. If you would have told me at 18 years old that you're going to be backstage with the future WWE Universal Champion or the future NXT Champion, I wouldn't have believed you. But because of my relationship with Blake, I've been able to do that.
My 2 years at ROH, it was awesome, man. You know, really getting to learn the TV product. And, you know, yes, I was there for photography, but to be able to really learn the things that happens backstage when you're dealing with a TV wrestling product, that was awesome. You know, I'd already knew like agenting and booking, but seeing the producing parts and just seeing how it's run for a TV product, I wouldn't trade that in for the world. And to do it with friends that I'd had and then the friends that I'd made there or people I just met for the first time, to be able to take in all of that knowledge and learn what I learned within 2 years while doing photography for the company, I wouldn't trade it in for the world. It was a good experience and I enjoyed every moment.